Welcome back to Dragon Ball Super, episode number 17. Spoilers, yes. A spoiler review. Not of the action series itself. No, of the film I just saw tonight. Dragon Ball Super Broly. Yep, I just saw it tonight. It actually made its debut in this area. It's limited release film, started this past Wednesday, and it's going to end on Tuesday. It been in theaters for a few days, so yeah, I saw it tonight at 5:30. This movie was really, really good. I thoroughly enjoy this. The movie starts out with kind of the first chronological appearance of several characters. We see the return of King Cold for the first time since he was killed by Future Trunks back in the Future Trunks arc. Yeah, though this is actually before he showed up there, where he's like, okay, I'm retiring effective immediately, and I'm handing off my empire to my son Frieza. We see Frieza first time, and is it just me? Or is he a very dark shade of pink? Because if you see him in his first form in the actual anime, it's a light pink. I'm not really sure why. And then of course when we cut to him present day, he's in his final form, because apparently no one has a problem with it, and he's going to make a wish in Dragon Balls to increase his height. Yeah, it's never been brought up as a gag for the series of how short Frieza is. This why I'm like, yes, in his second form he's really tall, but his natural form, no, he's pretty short. We also get a chance to see Broly in the past, along with his father Progress, who is kind of like what he was in the original film for Broly, except that, well, for one thing, he actually ages in this film, unlike in the original film where he actually didn't. He looked pretty much the same. As a matter of fact, I knew it was him just by looking at him. It's definitely Progress. Yeah. And apparently he has a beef with King Vegeta. Oh yeah, and it's later referred to that apparently the name Vegeta is basically one of those inherited titles, where apparently King Vegeta was actually King Vegeta III, and Vegeta, the character we all know and love, is Vegeta the Fourth. And here's something interesting. I'm not really all that surprised that he did this, because we have Christopher Savant playing King Vegeta. I think he did play him in the original series. I'm not really sure. I think he did. So, not surprising, because why not? Though King Vegeta's grandson Trunks is voiced by Eric Vale. Yeah, and Future Trunks, Trunks does make a cameo in here for like one scene. I'll talk about that in a minute. Excuse me. So, and we see young Vegeta. You see the regular Vegeta. You see him as a baby. He's very powerful because he's a very powerful warrior. And Broly is nearby. Yeah, and this flashback is set 41 years in the past. Does this mean that Vegeta is 41? Okay. That could kind of mean that Broly is also 41, because given the fact these two are the same age, despite the fact Vegeta is freaking short. Yeah, Vegeta is shorter than Goku. And get this, no one has ever talked about the heights of any character. I would say the most tallest character is currently alive right now. Off the top of my head, it could be Broly. Broly could be the biggest one. Heck, he's taller than freaking Goku. And from what I can tell, he's probably taller than Piccolo, which I'll get to him soon. So yeah, Broly gets sent to a hospitable planet called Vagadoth. Yeah, it's a planet with monsters. Like one monster looks like it's a pit of grass. Yeah, and he gets a sort of an explanation later. So Purgus, jealous of the fact that Broly was sent to our world, he decided to steal a ship with one person, crash on this planet to rescue his son. He finds him. Doesn't take very long, but he does find him. And of course, we also see Bardock make his first appearance in this show, in this franchise. First time since the Bardock film, which I actually own that one. Yeah, the episode Bardock, which that film has been deemed non-canon thanks to this film. And they changed his character. I mean, I would say appearance-wise, he's mostly the same, except he's got different armor this time, and the fact he actually cares about his sons. Also, Raditz makes, there's a mention of Raditz in here, and apparently he's trading off with Prince Vegeta. We also see Goku's mother, and she's a smoking hot woman. And like Bardock, she's got a tail. Yeah, and she kind of looks like that, appearance-wise. I think this model for her is probably based upon the female Saiyan from his group from the original Bardock film. I don't think this is the same character. It's just basically same appearance. And of course, and how Goku got off the planet. It's actually different. They actually retcon how he got off the planet this time, because in the original series, he was sent off to another planet because of a mission he was on. Here, they retconned it. Apparently, Bardock was suspecting that something big was going to happen to something bad was going to people. So what does he do? He goes sees Goku, something he didn't do in the original film. Matter of fact, he didn't care to see his son at all. And he steals one of the capsule ships and puts Goku inside of it and sends him off Earth on purpose. So, yeah, this opening scene retcons several things related to the franchise. Like, the reason why Goku was sent to Earth. Yeah, apparently it looks like that Raditz actually lied about the reason why he was there. But, knowing Toriyama, he loves the retcon stuff. Probably the reason why he changed this is my personal theory. Maybe a lot of people didn't like the backstory that Raditz, the reasoning why Goku was sent to Earth. Probably either he wanted to change it for some time, because he did write the film. Yeah, he's actually credited as one of the writers of the film. Yeah. So, he's sent to Earth, and apparently he's always been the way he's always been. Nice. And then, of course, later on we actually have the destruction of Planet Vegeta. And from what I can tell, it's pretty much almost the same way it was destroyed in the series. Though, they do change one small thing. They do change two things. One, they don't show the death of King Vegeta. That is not shown here at all. I don't know if they actually, from what I can tell, I don't think they cut it out. They may have changed, they probably had him die a different way, because in the series, Frieza killed him before Frieza destroyed the actual planet itself. Also, here's kind of the thing. Frieza ordered the Saiyans back to the home planet. And then of course, they changed the color of the special thing he used to destroy Planet Vegeta. In the original show, it was purple. In the film, it's like red with a little mix of yellow. Yeah. And then we cut to, of course, that was like 5 years after Paragus left the planet. So, is this implying that Goku must be like 36, maybe? It's a possibility. And of course, we cut to present day. We see Bula. We see Bulma. Her beautiful little baby girl, Bula. Beerus, who doesn't do anything in this film. Whis, who does do something. Yeah, he goes along with him because he feels like it. Beerus decides to stay behind, and Bulma just forces him to babysit her daughter. And we all see a quick cameo in the film for one scene of young Trunks, Goten, Pilaf, Mai, and Pilaf's dog Ninja. They appear briefly. Mai doesn't say anything in this scene for some reason. Yeah, she doesn't get any lines. I think Pilaf gets a couple lines, but that's it. Yeah, and here's something really, really weird. Now, if I remember in the series, they have cell phones. I don't know why they changed this, because in the series, I remember these characters have cell phones. So, they changed it where it's kind of like the Dick Tracy style phone, like, oh, Trunks is calling, and of course, Silver Control Lab, and it's Frieza's men. And Trunks points out, though, these people wear armor similar to his father. Well, he says, these guys look like they're wearing similar armor to that of Dad. That's what he says in the show. Also, apparently, this particular watch can also have access to the security cameras. And Vegeta correctly points out, though, you should update your security system for your lab. Of course, this is after him and Goku had basically finished sparring over the ocean. And they're on a deserted island, which is owned by Bulma, Not surprising because she's the richest woman on the planet. Now, I had heard something that Jocko was to make an appearance in this film. He doesn't. At all. He does not make a physical appearance. Yeah, because from the material I had heard, they were going to adapt a portion of his manga for this film. Yeah, the promotion actually lied about his make appearance in this film. He does not show up at all in this film. So they detect, of course, Frieza himself decides to, well, explain certain things, and of course we introduce these two new characters. In the film, they kind of are like side characters in a way. Let's see, they are, if I can find them on here. Okay, their names are Chio and Lamo. Yeah, I don't remember these two actually mentioning their names. Because from what I can tell with two of them, one looks like a short, smoking hot alien woman who kind of becomes Broly's love interest. I do love the fact they developed this. That Broly gets a good amount of development for this film, despite the fact this is his first canonical appearance. Because the last time physically appeared was back during Broly's Second Coming. Of course, this film is not canon, but that was his last appearance. No, don't count Bio Broly because that was a clone. But the actual Broly made his last appearance back in Broly Second Coming. Yeah. And they explained like this his little jacket thing he has wrapped around his waist. Yeah, in the original show, they never explain why he has this at all. Because if you see the film, there is no explanation why he wears this. In the film, it's explained that belonged to a pet of his that was one of his only friend. And this skirt thing that he wears, this jacket, I'm not sure what it is, this fur coat he has around his waist, actually is this creature's ear and keeps it as a memento. And apparently Progress shot it off. And he has a collar on his neck, which, if I remember, he did have that in the original film. Yeah, he did. And he wears pretty much, and when you see him in armor, yeah, they show him in armor later on after he's rescued, him and his father rescued from this planet. Yeah, he wears pretty much the same armor. As for Progress, he puts on pretty much most of the same outfit he did in the original film, though they do change him up a bit where he apparently has one eye now, he's got scars on his face, and he's got a beard. Oh yeah, and also his hair is white, which is something that did not happen in the original film at all, because it's explained in the Action Super series that Saiyans stay young until they're 80. Yeah, and they also explain why Bulma, of course, Bulma in her lab, she has Dragon Balls. As for the reason why she has Dragon Balls, because she wants to have a wish on the Dragon Balls to de-age herself 5 years. Says, why not 10? Because the way she explains it, it's kind of like a gossip. People who love doing gossip. Like, oh, you're 10 years younger. Who's your surgeon? Yeah. Which, I gotta praise the actress who plays Bulma. That's a very good It's very stereotypical. Good stereotypical depiction of how rich women would act to seeing a woman who's been sort of makes them look younger, be a facelift. Yeah. And it turns out the 7th Dragon Ball, which these people Frieza Force stole the Dragon Balls from her lab, and they stole her Dragon Radar too. And Bulma has a pretty good idea where it is. It's up in the Antarctic. Or at least they call it the ice continent. Basically, they're in. I think it's, from what I can tell, because they go north, they could possibly be in the North Pole. Possibly, it could be some other place on the planet. The thing with the world of Dragon Ball is that it's kind of similar to how it is currently, except the cities are sort of semi-futuristic, despite the fact having stuff like dinosaurs and other creatures pop up in this series. As for where the heck they ended up, it could be Alaska. It's a possibility, but they tore the place up. Yeah, and then Frieza, of course, sees Broly for the first time. Something that never happened in the original film because Frieza never met him. Because by the time the original film came out, Frieza was dead. Of course, they reference his death here as well. He meets Progress for the first time. And He hires him on the spot because he needs new men. And here's the thing. These two low-ranking warriors were sent out to find, well, strong warriors because Frieza kept killing off his men. A lot. Which, for what I know about him, yeah, that's pretty accurate to how Frieza normally is. It's even mentioned that he killed somebody for having bad breath. He's also killed people who apparently poke fun at his height. That's not a joke. That seriously is true. He has killed people for that. So he's killed for insults and bad breath. So yeah, very stereotypical with Frieza. We also see his floating chair, something he does not use in the film at all, which is kind of weird. He uses it in the flashback, but not in present day. Maybe he has no use for the chair. He probably keeps it around as a memento. Yeah. And here's kind of the thing. Okay, now in the show, they don't really explain why he's still in his true form. Because this is something that kind of bothered me about the film, is that they do have him stuck in this particular film. He could go back to his first form, and nope. It doesn't. And of course, when they show present day stuff, they show the reason why Goku's training, because they reference the stuff with, the Universal Survival. I would not say this is like immediately afterwards. From what I can tell, some time has passed by since Universal Survival. My guess is, this is my personal theory, I think like at least 1 month may have passed by since the events, because they've been sparring for quite a while. Yep. So after, well, of course they show progress how he controls Broly via the shock collar, which he actually shown for using it once the entire film. And then later on they do show it where the female alien, she steals it and then she smashes it. Because she did not like seeing Broly like that at all. It's very heavily implied that she fell in love with him. I'm sure for some ladies, like, why not? He's a big hulking guy. I'm sure she probably finds him attractive, so, yeah. So, yeah, and that's when that leads into the whole development for Broly, which I love his development in this film. That's one thing you gotta praise about this film, is that the Broly gets a ton of character development, despite its runtime, which, when I saw this film is nearly 2 hours. Yeah, that's the thing. It's nearly 2 hours long. Yeah. It's nearly a 2-hour film. And here's the thing. There's like one character from this franchise who does not make a physical appearance in this film. And he generally has appeared in like every film so far, and yet he doesn't appear in this one. It's Krillin. Your son is Sarat is probably not happy with that. Oh no, but I'm sure look up, he does get a consolation prize for not having his character appear in the film. They have him voice Bardock. Which, since Bardock looks physically like him, like, why the heck not? Yeah, I'm looking at some of the upcasts, like, what? Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is a little weird. Apparently, Veronica Taylor is in this film, playing a character named Berry Blue. Yeah, I think I remember this character. This is the older woman who apparently is still alive. Yeah. There's like 2 people who show up in the past, and they show up in the present. Somehow these 2 were still alive. Never explained why these 2 were kept alive, despite the fact that they probably could be dead by now, but who the heck knows. So when they have the characters who have an Earth, which, by the way, when Broly first fought Goku, he fought on an alien planet. Here, he fights him all over the Arctic. This takes him a good chunk of the last half of the film. I mean, first person he fights is Vegeta. Yeah, he fights Vegeta. Which, okay, that is actually different because he didn't do that in the original film. Oh no, he fought Goku the whole time, which, you gotta at least praise the writers for this movie actually doing something different with Broly. Instead of constantly fighting Goku, go after Vegeta. Because he's a son of his father's former rival, King Vegeta. Well, dead rival, because they mentioned the whole meteor destroying his planet. Yeah. Here's the thing. Vegeta knows that's a big fat lie. And because, heck, the viewers know it's a lie because it was mentioned by Dodor before Vegeta killed him in the actual series that the whole thing of the whole meteor destroying planet Vegeta was a lie because it was Frieza did it. Yeah, heck, they show it in the flashback of the film. Now, it's a good thing that Dragon Ball Z fans know for a fact that the whole meteor story isn't nothing but a big fat lie. Yes. So yeah. And Vegeta fights him, a good person goes Super Saiyan, and then he goes to Super Saiyan God. Yeah. Of course, apparently, Progress has never seen a Super Saiyan from before. He knows of it via the legends, but he's never seen it before. And then, after a while fighting, and of course, Goku tags in. He fights him first in Super Saiyan mode, then goes to God mode, and then he goes to Super Saiyan Blue. There's a small hint when he goes to Super Saiyan Blue. There's a brief image of him going to Ultra Instinct. Here's my theory about this particular moment. My guess is the animators probably really love doing Ultra Instinct in the actual series. It'd be like, hey, let's do this, okay? Let's just draw it. And then probably the anime hand got smacked like, don't do that. It's explaining the actual series he can't do anymore. So let's have it briefly for like 2 seconds go to Ultra Instinct before he goes to Super Saiyan Blue. Also, his transformation looks very different in the actual series. I'm not sure what the heck happened when it came to this transformation sequence. It seems like it's shown in the film. It seems like it's very painful. Which in the show itself, they don't really... Now, I'm glad the fact that you keep how the transformation is going, but it looks very painful to him. And eventually, of course, Piccolo shows up in the film. A character who was one of the most popular characters in the series, and he does nothing at all. He does jack frickin' squat. He just stands around, has a brief telepathic conversation with Goku, something these two never did in the series. I'm not really sure why they had to have a telepathic conversation. Because last time I checked, Goku was not a telepath. He may have been able to read Krillin's mind, but he's not a telepath. He can't speak telepathically. I'm not really sure why in the world the movie did this for. It's so bizarre. And of course, then when they should have Pier, of course, they mentioned the whole Sensimate thing. Of course, that should show up later. Of course, Vegeta has been tore up. His outfit's like pretty much like shredded. He's like, okay, let's do the fusion dance. And of course, Vegeta's like, oh no, not that. And they show up the fusion dance. Eventually, they get it a couple times. Eventually, they finally get it. And because, well, before when the programmers, they mentioned that they were known as Vegito. Here, they're known as Gogito. Yeah, because, well, fusion, different. So they fight, and they fight for a good while. And the fight itself is sort of interrupted when the female alien, I keep forgetting this woman's name, she forces one of Frieza's subordinates to activate the Dragon Balls. Yeah, Shinra makes an appearance. Now, this I call bullcrap on. Not him showing up, but what happens after she makes a wish. Because Shenron doesn't speak in the film. Okay, this is something quite weird. Because Shenron has always spoken every single time he's shown up. Did the animators forget to give him a line? Because he just shows up. They kind of talk to him. It's kind of like they were kind of confused with the Namekian Dragon Balls was because you're supposed to speak a certain time, speak the language, and of course grant the wish. And her wish is to send Broly back to his home planet. Well, back to his home anyways. And then she and of course the old man steal a ship and they go off. Vegeta Frieza about to kill him. Gogeta stops him. One thing I also got praised while this is going on. Apparently in Broly's blind rage, of course this is now how this happens, is that apparently Frieza kills Broly's father. He goes nuts, becomes a Super Saiyan, and he fights Goku for quite a while. And after Goku disappears, apparently in a blind rage, Broly fights Frieza. Something he never did in the original films. Never even met Frieza, which is kind of weird. He fights him for a while, beats the living crap out of him. Heck, Frieza even goes to Golden Frieza. Why the heck not? And then he fights Whis. This I thought was interesting because Whis is never shown to be fighting the whole entire series, and he puts up a pretty decent fight against Broly before Gogeta, Gogeta shows up. Yeah, and this fight goes all over the place. A bit choppy animation here and there, and they go to another dimension, and of course that's when he's sent on planet, and apparently Goku lets Frieza go, despite the fact that he brought him here in the first place to use the Dragon Balls. Heck, they frequently show the Dragon Balls. He's like, somehow he has now. They also show a new ability of Goku, something he never showed off in the series. Apparently, he can use telekinesis to stop Broly with his own energy, which is something, like I said, another thing apparently the movie just made up for the film because he is never shown to use this on. Now, I get why Broly would use this because he's never used it before, but Goku had never been shown for doing this at all. Heck, I even loved it before him and Vegeta fused. He got a chance to use the Kamehameha, and of course Vegeta used the Gallic gun, and Gogeta even got a chance to use the Kamehameha to actually battle Broly, and he's a lot stronger now. Gogeta's last appearance in the Dragon Ball Z franchise was in Fusion Reborn, a film that is not canon. Yeah, it's not canon film. Because that's the thing with the films. They're original stories, but these films kind of lose time to it, but as far as I can tell, they're not really canon. A lot of them are really good films, but they're not canon at all. Yes. So, after, of course, Broly gets sent home and the two people leave, Frieza's like, okay, I lose, I'll leave. Of course, they got bruised anyways. And he's like, and of course, they know where the old man and the smoking that alien woman went. And Frieza's like, don't worry about them. Allow them to domesticate. And of course, Goku comes, and then of course they settle down the planet. Like, really? This is what you're eating? He's like, and she's like, whoever says level 5 50 days, much less like 10 days. Yeah, and she shows the company to spend time with Broly. Okay. And of course, Goku comes there. Now, Goku explains that he was able to find Broly via his energy. Okay. And gives him some castles. Of course, I mentioned Bulma to him. And shows off the house. Yeah, and of course, she asks for his name. He says, my name is Goku, but you can call me Kakarot. He probably that's something for Broly to do, because prior to this, only Vegeta called him Kakarot. Not even Trunks calls him Kakarot at all. Not even this is both young Trunks and future Trunks. Do not call him Kakarot. They call him Goku, like everyone else does. Yeah. And of course we have Goku and Broly becoming like basically friends and sparring partners, and of course Goku wants to teach Broly some stuff, which is fine. I don't have a problem with Broly surviving, because Broly was not the interesting villain in the original film. He had good look to him. Heck, I even liked it. I think it was good fan service for him to go to his movie poster look, where he's like yellow hair, big bulky, and of course shirtless. Also, I forgot to mention this for flashback. Now, I'm not surprised that Dora and Zabara, Frieza's top subordinates, I'm not surprised those two are there, because they were there in the flashback. The one group of people I was so surprised to see them here was the Ginyu Force. Yes, the Ginyu Force. They even do their signature pose. Except they don't have a line at all. Okay. This overall film was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But there were several characters missing with them. I mean, Krillin's only appearance. Krillin does kind of appear in the film, but he appears via stock footage and from a flashback from the Frieza saga. You know who also does not appear in the film? Aside from Krillin, Chi-Chi does not make an appearance, because Chi-Chi generally shows up a lot of the time. Gohan, Videl, Pan, Hercule does not make an appearance. Not even Majin Buu. They don't mention what the heck goes on with him. Like, it's unknown if he woke up or not. Who the heck knows? Let's see. yeah, like a good chunk of the known characters from the franchise, like I would say most of the Z Fighters, do not even show up in the film at all, which is kind of weird. My guess is they probably put Krillin in there, probably because they probably had no room for him, so they had a brief flashback. So yeah, maybe there was some plans for him to be in the film because if anybody has ever seen any of the Dragon Ball Z films, Krillin is in every single one. He appears in the abridged retellings of the actual series. The guy showed up pretty much since almost the beginning of the series. And yet, this is the first time he's absent for, which is kind of weird. I'm glad Vegeta is here, because he's appeared in at least about half the films so far. I think his first appearance in the films was Return of Cooler, which I hope that he gets in the canon sometime in the future. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else. No, nothing I can think of. Yeah, this, like I said, now what do I give this film? I give this film a whopping 9.5. I give this film a 10 out of 10. This film is just fantastic. I love it. Love the music, love the animation, love the writing. Yeah, this film is just that damn good. Like, oh my gosh, wow, it's just so good. Yeah. Yeah, so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for our reviews, hopefully tonight, of My Hero Academia. Yes, this new book did release new chapters yesterday. And Black Butler. As for reviewing the next book for Overlord, that probably won't be done today, probably done tomorrow. Okay? But here's the next review. Bye.